Hello, good day viewers, good day to you all. In this video class, let's open and study the geophytes. Geophytes. Geophytes are the plants of dry habitats, xeric conditions. These are the plants of dry habitats are called the xerophytes. Xeric conditions means what? Where very high temperature exerts, or sometimes very low freezing temperature exerts. Usually in such a places, rainfall is very low, precipitation is very low. The habitats where very cold climatic condition exists or very low freezing temperature exists, also snowfall occurs. These are considered to be as xeric conditions or the dry habitats. The xerophytes are the plants of dry habitats are called, xerophytes are many. Xerophytes also grows as in mesophytes in our surroundings. Examples may be given, many. Aloe vera is there, aloe vera, then Nerium indicum is there, many more plants. They may even grow similar to that of the mesophytes. But the xerophytes are a very specialized group of the plants. They shows very interesting morphological, anatomical, adaptive characters, adaptations or the responses. The xerophytes, as they grow in very extreme conditions, dry areas, the dry habitats, they have developed some very specialized morphological adaptations, and as well as internally also they shows very specialized internal anatomical adaptive characters. Physiological adaptations are also very interesting. Before to take a look about various adaptive characters of the xerophytes, especially it is better to consider few of the examples of the xerophytes. The xerophytes are many. Examples, it may be the pinus tree or a pinus plant, casuarina plant, or a calotropis, procera, calotropis, casuarina, pinus, even the cycas, and the Nerium indicum, Nerium indicum or oleander, then aloe vera, then cacti, many cacti, cactus is a singular word, cacti is the plural form, many cacti, opuntia, asparagus, ruscus, then gizipus, then there are many plants, not only these. Nerium, aloe vera, cacti, opuntia, then asparagus, gizipus, ruscus, acacia. Not only these, there are many plants. These are very good examples because we can observe these, some of these in our surroundings. Maybe the casuarina or calotropis, even the cycas, then the Nerium indicum, aloe vera, opuntia, then asparagus, okay, Ziziphus, acacia. So these are the good examples of the xerophytes. The habitat of the xerophytes, various xerophytes, it is such that habitats of these xerophytes may be physically dry or physiologically dry, sometimes physically dry and as well as physiologically dry. Habitats of the xerophytes, habitats, it is physically dry. In such a places also, these xerophytes, they have adapted to grow and survive. Habitats physically dry means what? If it rains, the soil, especially the substratum of the ground, that is the soil, water holding capacity of the soil is very poor. Water retaining capacity of the soil is very poor, and the substratum of the soil remains dry. Such habitat is termed as a habitats or physically dry. Such habitats or a substratum or the soil surface, physically dry means what? Water holding capacity of the soil is very low, and it may be very hot or cold, or it may be too acidic or too acidic, or it may contain the very much salt content. Such habitats are termed as physically dry. It may be the habitat, that is the place of the occurrence of the xerophytes, physically dry. It remains the dry always because the water holding capacity of the soil is very low. Such a habitat, it is either very cold or very hot. Sometimes it is too acidic or too salty. Okay. Then second type of the habitat in which the xerophytes usually grow and perish, it is the habitat. It is physiologically dry. It is such a habitat where water is very plenty. Available water it is more. Available water it is plenty. But the plants are unable to absorb such a plenty of water. This means that example may be given here. If it is the available water, if it is too salty, such a salt contained water, the xerophytes are unable to get it. So physiologically, the xerophytes unable to absorb such a too salty water. If it is present in a if such a water is available, but our plants, the xerophytes, unable to absorb it, such a habitat is termed as physiologically dry habitat. The habitat example may be given to such a habitat. Suppose that the freshwater river, where it meets the salt water, that is the ocean water or the salt water. The place termed as the estuaries. Estuary is a place where the xerophytes usually grows. The example may be given here. The halophytic, the mangroves, also they shows the xerophytic adaptations. Okay. Then the third, another type of the habitat where the xerophytes usually they grow. One can observe it is physically dry and physiologically dry. Physiologically dry. Example for such a habitat may be given here. It is the slopes of the mountain. Slopes of the mountain is a good example for such a habitat. It is physically dry and as well as physiologically dry. If it rains on the slopes of the mountain, automatically the rainwater goes down and it is unavailable to the plants. Then as it is always exposed to the direct sunlight, it is very always very quickly it dries up. So it is such a physically dry and physiologically the dry habitat. So the xerophytes are the plants. Usually they perish or they grow in these three different the natural habitats. On the basis of their relative, that is the relationships, on the basis of their relationship to their respective the dry situations or the habitats, the environment in which they grow, based on that the xerophytes are grouped into three different types. That is the drought escaping plants, drought escaping xerophytes. Second one, drought enduring xerophytes. And the third one is drought resisting xerophytes. Drought escaping xerophytes are nothing but these are very short-lived plants. They usually complete their entire life cycle within a short period of the time, that is within a very few weeks of the time. This means that they usually survive in a dry situations of the or dry seasons of the year in the form of very hard dry the seeds, or sometimes the fruits are seeds. Okay. These are also termed as ephemerals. These are short-lived plants. Whenever they get the moisture content, they usually grow very quickly, and they usually complete their entire life cycle. They develop flowers and fruits and seeds. In this way they they grow very fast and then complete their entire life cycle within a favorable environmental conditions. Very short-lived plants are termed as drought escaping plants. In this way, there are these group of the plants. Usually they escape a very long the dry conditions of the season, of the dry seasons in their forthcoming the seasons itself. Drought escaping the plants, the first group of the xerophytes. Drought enduring xerophytes. Drought enduring xerophytes are another type of the xerophytes. Usually they can tolerate or endure the xeric conditions. They can tolerate very high extreme temperatures or very low freezing temperatures. In this way, by enduring or tolerating drought conditions, they exist and survive in the dry habitats. Okay, such plants are termed as drought enduring xerophytes. Then another category of the xerophytes are also observed, termed as a drought resisting the xerophytes. These are a very interesting group of the plants. Usually they resist the high temperature or very extreme conditions. Maybe the high temperature or a very intensive light rays, or in other words very low freezing temperature, or any such a extreme xeric conditions. So such a plants are termed as drought resisting xerophytes. In order to resist such a extreme xeric conditions, it is these group of the plants that they have developed very specialized adaptations or adaptive characters. Various adaptive characters of these xerophytes actually fall under the two categories, that is xeromorphic character, character, and xeroplastic the character, xeroplastic character. Xeromorphic adaptive character of the xerophytes are nothing but these are genetically fixed and are inheritable. Such a genetically fixed and heritable characters, the adaptations of the xerophytes are termed as xeromorphic adaptive characters. Genetically fixed and are heritable from generation to generation. Such a adaptive characters are termed as xeromorphic adaptive characters. So some halopathic mangrove plants, mangroves are the group of the plants usually grows as a xerophytes in the places of the physiologically dry places or the dry habitats. All those plants especially shows the xeromorphic adaptive characters. Xeroplastic adaptive characters are those these are not a genetically fixed and are heritable. Such adaptive characters are termed as xeroplastic adaptive characters. If some of the xerophytes, if they get favorable environmental conditions instead of the adverse situations such as the long dry period or a very intensive sunlight or a high temperature, or in words very low freezing temperature, very cold conditions, instead they get very good favorable environmental conditions. They do not usually develop such a geromorphic characters. Instead, they shows the geroplastic. Means what? These are not genetically fixed and are not heritable. Whenever they get a favorable environmental conditions, they usually grows as a similar to that of the other the land plants. Such a characters are termed as geroplastic adaptive characters. Let's take a look about various morphological adaptive characters of the xerophytes. Morphologically, they express, they shows, they exhibit very interesting adaptive characters. Morphological means what? Morphological adaptations of the xerophytes means what? External appearance of the plants. Externally, how the plant body externally it is adjusted to live under such a physically dry or physiologically dry or any other physically as well as physically dry the dry habitats or the xeric conditions, the places where the xeric conditions exists. Morphological adaptations. If we consider the root in majority of the xerophytes, it is very extensively developed, very strong and very much elaborated. It is extensively developed, strong, very extensively developed, strong and elaborated. Such a very strong, very well developed the root system is present in various xerophytes. Suppose that this is the surface of the ground or the soil. The root it is very much very extensively developed and very long and very deep, and the root hairs are also very nicely developed. Means what? Root hairs towards the tip of the very long underground root, the root hairs are also very well developed. Such a very extensively developed, strong, elaborated the root system is present in various xerophytes. Then other than this, especially in some of the xerophytes, the root it is such that it is very long and deep. So the available water it is and it is very deep, just under, very deep inside the earth crust. Water is available. So this means that in order to get such a very the available water from such a long the distance, these plants they have to develop such a long root system. So the root is very long and extensively developed and strong and elaborated. The root system is present in these the group of the xerophytes. Then other than this, especially in the roots of some of the plants in which the plants which grow in a desert areas, it is much elaborated. Means what? Extensively developed or very much branched. The network of root is present. Very much branched. The network of root is also noticed in some of the xerophytes. Other than this, let's move to understand or more to study with. Stem. What kind of the stem is present in this group of the plants, that is in these the group of xerophytes? These are the plants of the dry habitats. Dry habitat is the one where, as I already mentioned earlier, physically dry or physiologically dry, or in other words, physically and as well as physiologically dry. In order to get plenty of water and in order to retain the absorbed water for longer period of the time, they have developed some very specialized morphological and as well as anatomical adaptive characters. They have to get a lot of water in such a dry places. They have to retain the absorbed water for longer period of the time, and they have to minimize the rate of transpiration. They must not lose their absorbed water very easily under such a very extreme the high temperatures. Then they have to survive under such a, in order to survive under such a unfavorable the conditions of the unfavorable conditions. They have to check the rate of transpiration to a minimum rate of the transpiration. Then they have to anyhow utilize the absorbed water, whatever they contain within their cell shaft, in a minimum way for their metabolic activities. They have to reutilize the absorbed water for the metabolic activities in a minimum way. So these are the various the conditions that they aims at. So in order to exist under such a dry situations or the conditions, it is these the xerophytes. They shows such a morphological adaptive characteristic properties. As such, the stem of the various xerophytes is concerned. Stem is very hard and woody, very strong and woody. Very hard, strong, woody stem is present in majority of the xerophytes. Sometimes the surface of the plant body it is covered by the silica or the waxes or the carbonates. Example may be given here. It is the pteridophyte, which is equisetum plant. The body surface of the equisetum is covered by the silica layer. That is, the stem of the plant body, it is covered by the layer of the silica. Okay. Due to the presence of such the layer of the silica over the surface of the entire plant body, equisetum plant can withstand such unfavorable the conditions. I shall continue. What are the different adaptive characters which are observed in these the groups of the plants? In many of the xerophytes, there is a very strong, woody, heavy, hard. The tree trunk is also present. Examples may be given here. Maybe the acacia, or maybe the pinus or cycas, or any of the casuarina. In casuarina plant, the stem is very hard and woody. In acacia also. So the stem is very hard and then woody. Then in some of the xerophytes, the stem is modified into thorns. Stem which is modified into thorns. Example may be given here. The Duranta plumeri, such a plant. Stem is modified into a thorn here in this plant. In this plant. So it is the modification of the stem. Still in some other the xerophytes, stem it is modified in such a way that it is very much flattened, green, thick. Such a stem also termed as pillowclade. If the stem of the plant which is modified, flattened, thick and fleshy, it is termed as a pillowclade. Examples are many. Here in Ruscus plant, and in asparagus, and even in Opuntia, pillowclades are present. In Ruscus and in many of the plants, not only in Euphorbia also. In Ruscus plant, we also observe the pillowclades or the cladophylls. These are the modified modified stems. Stem is very thick, much flattened, green in color, also undergo photosynthesis. Then pillowclades, still in some other plants, pillowclades are cladophylls. Okay, this is about the stem. As such, the leaves are concerned in these various xerophytes. Leaves, in order to shoot to such a extreme, the dry situations prevailing in their natural habitats, the xerophytes, they have developed or they show very specialized characteristic adaptations in their leaves. As such, the leaves and their modifications in the xerophytes are concerned. In many of the xerophytes, leaves are very short, and it is caudaceous. Caudaceous means what? They fall very early. They may remain present. They may develop during a favorable season of the year. Soon they fall down. Such a leaves are termed as the caudaceous leaves. Very soon they fall down means what? Leaves are present in other xerophytes. These are much reduced leaves. Are present. Very short leaves are also noticed in majority of the xerophytes. Example may be given here. Casuarina. In Casuarina plant, the leaves are very long and needle-like. The xerophytes do not exhibit a very broad, very thin plait, very wide laminar region in their leaves. Instead, the leaves are modified into a very long needle-like the structures. Such leaves are termed as reduced leaves. Examples are Casuarina, Pinus, etc. Leaves are much reduced and are short. Short means what? in take for example in euphorbia plant, the leaves are very minute and very short, very minute and very short. Then needle-like leaves are also present in the pinus plant, in casuarina plant, and in many of the plants, many other the succulent xerophytes. Leaves are very thick and fleshy and succulent as they contain water storage tissue in them. So in these plants, in these the succulent, the xerophytes, leaves are very thick and fleshy as they contain the water storage tissue in them. They become a fleshy and thick. Okay, leaves are modified to store a lot of absorbed water in them. So leaves in these examples I have given, aloe vera or any other xerophytes, leaves are modified to store the lot of absorbed water. So therefore they become thick and fleshy, Then still in some other xerophytes, the leaves are very much reduced. It may be the Ulex. Ulex is at another the xerophyte. Ulex. Then Opuntia here. Leaves are very much reduced. Then acacia, in Acacia arabica or any other such a similar the plants, the species plants. Leaf lamina region, it is much reduced. Leaf lamina region, the leaves are very minute and pinnately compound leaves are present in these the group of the xerophytes. Then very interesting plant is there, that is in Australian acacia plant, that is a babool tree. Babool plant, leaf blade, pinna, leaf blade or a pinna, it is very much reduced. In this plant, in Australian species of acacia, the leaf petiole is also modified and become a thick and fleshy and undergo photosynthesis. Such a structure is termed as phyllodes. So this is about the various external morphological adaptive characters of various xerophytes. About the root and root system, about the stem, and about the leaves. Other than these, still in many of the xerophytes, certain highly specialized the morphological adaptive characteristics are also observed. In some of the grasses, as they grow in such a xeric conditions, the leaves they roll up. Means what? Rolling leaves are present in some of the grasses, grass xerophytes. When very extreme high temperature prevails, or when such a very extreme dry situations operates in their natural habitats, automatically they roll up the leaves. In this way they overcome the very extreme dry situations or a high temperature or a very intensive the sunlight. These are various morphological adaptive characters of the xerophytes. I will stop here and I shall continue with other aspect of the xerophytes in another class. Thank you.